Good time zone, my guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It is your boy, Tempest Rhineblood, and we are back at it again with another episode of Shadowrun Returns. For those of you looking for the Rogue Tech LP, there are some things I'm sorting out regarding that, and it's questionable whether we'll return to that, based on simply the fact that the effort to get a new episode recorded versus the editing time involved and just the amount of time that it takes to record a single episode of the Rogue Tech LP is a lot compared to Shadowrun or anything else. And I really am trying to emphasize having consistency over having long content. Now, with that being said, it is after hours at the bar, the Seamstresses Union, and here we are. We are going to... Well, first off, we should probably spend some karma. Let's just get some leveling out of the way real quick. We could take a third etiquette by improving our charisma to 6, but I think instead what we're going to do is we will improve our shotgun skill to rank 4. We'll take our ranged combat to 5, and that leaves us with 3 karma, which conveniently we're going to put into dodge. So with that, go ahead and continue exploring the bar. Mrs. Kubota's in the back room, which we know to be up here. Janitor got mad that we just swept there. Gathered around the intimate back bar, Mrs. Kubota and her coterie gather for breakfast, with the lady herself doing the cooking. The smell of soy calf and something resembling sausages fills the room. So let's go talk to Mr. Clue first. Evening, sir. What's the word around town, Mr. Clue? There's been more talk of the Ripper killings. Some people are saying they're hate crimes on account of the victims all being human. What if I told you the prime suspects were an elf and a troll? It still doesn't mean the killings are racially motivated. People are just too quick to label something a hate crime. Check the census. The city's still 66% humans. Close your eyes and throw a rock, you're more likely to hit a human. Doesn't make it a hate crime. Still a crime, though, and that should be enough. This is the first real rise you've seen out of Mr. Clue, but he reins himself in with a roll of his thick shoulders and a smoothing of his jacket. Don't worry, not going to start throwing rocks. Wouldn't want to reinforce the stereotype. I'll leave you to your business, sir. Well, let's go talk to Mrs. Kubota then. Ohio, would you like some... She stops. Forgive me, oh my, but you look like hell. I've been working. She looks you over, noting the signs of your nocturnal activities. She nods. Any run you can walk away from is a good run. So I've been told. I can tell you've been busy, and I can see by the look on your face that there's something you need. Is this about the Ripper? Said, yeah, I found some DNA evidence and need help analyzing it. That's excellent. I'll unlock the piano so you can go downstairs. I'm certain someone in the safe house will be able to help you if they are awake. It is likely that you will visit the Matrix before the day is done. May I take a sausage? Take the whole plate. Hell yeah, sausages. And we're about to transition to the basement, the safe house. Digital world. You've been doing a lot of legwork on this job, but it's going to require a trip to cyberspace and back to ID the Ripper. The Matrix, the cybernetic analog of Inside the Grid, the worldwide computer network. A digital world, information brought to life. Inside cyberspace, your avatar does all the work while your meat body is left behind. All around your avatar are pathways to other nodes filled with data, IC, counter-intrusion programs, and other jacked-in runners. Cyberspace has as many dangers as the meat world and more. Locked doors, security countermeasures, and black IC that can fry a Decker's brain. Every movement you make in the Matrix can be tracked if you aren't careful. Get dump shocked out and your brain gets fuzzy for a bit. Get hit by an enemy Decker, and you can die. So we want to go talk to Mr. Fry and Johnny Clean. Morning. You look like you've been up all night. You look like you've seen some action, too. I suppose I could use a shower. You here to buy equipment? Negative. Need a DNA analysis. Fry can help you out. Doc Castle's equipment isn't really set up for that. He considers for a minute. However, I could employ a semiconductor chip. It could decode DNA using a voltage change instead of light. That would eliminate the use of highly expensive equipment that would be required otherwise. He brightens. I just read a journal about it, so the information's still fresh. Frankly, it should be easy. What do you want to know about it? The owner's identity. Ah, that's beyond me. All I can get you is the gene code sequence. But that's where I come in. David, if you can get me that code sequence, I'm pretty sure we can track its owner down via a matrix run. Will do. Let me have the DNA you want to test. So we hand over the blood sample. Tempest, when David gives me the sequence, I'll jack in and help you trace the blood sample back to its source. Thanks, guys. If this works, we may find the Emerald City Ripper. No dreck. He turns to Johnny, excited. Wake up, Johnny boy. You've got work to do. And Tempest, if you need any gear, I'll be right here. I just got a second wind. Meet you at my rig, Tempest. Let's head over here. Van Gross is here. I think we have pay data we can sell him. I was hoping to get some peace and quiet. You got something for me? Got a flight recorder. Wouldn't happen to be an Ares flight recorder, would it? Some very powerful buyers are looking for that right now. I can get rid of it for you for, say, 20%. That leaves 2,000 for you. Hell yeah. I'll take the 2,000 new yen. Wait, there's more things we can click on over here? Oh, I think we have to be a decker to interact with those. Yeah, we don't have any decking skill or a cyber deck equipped. Thanks to the semiconductor-based gene sequencing system that David employed, we should have the information we need to track the Ripper in the Matrix. I'm really impressed with his results, considering it was his first attempt. He was utilizing an unproven technique he'd read about in a science journal, and he was working from memory on minimal sleep. Sounds fascinating. If there's time later, you can tell me more about it. Yes, maybe we can sit down with David and he can share his research, but let's stay focused. Here's what I'm thinking. We hit the Lone Star DNA database first to see if our donor has a prior criminal record. They have extensive DNA archives. Then we go hunting, based on what we find. Let's hit the decks and jack into the Matrix. I can get into their private grid easily, but I've got to warn you, once we're in, it could get a little rough. How much decking experience have you had? No experience. I have a Trode net here. It's a headband you wear that lets you piggyback me in the Matrix. You'll see and hear everything I do. If we were actually playing as a decker, we would have two characters that we can take into the Matrix. Our own character and Johnny Clean. But for the time being, we kind of have to operate on ourselves. Your synapses light up as you connect your consciousness to the digital world. Although you aren't jacked in like Johnny, the sensation is overwhelming and electrifying. You can only imagine the way it feels for him. This arch will take us to the next node. Boop. Here we go. The data store ahead is defended by intrusion countermeasures, also known as ICE. This is white ice, by the way. Black ice is the kind that will kill you if you end up fucking with it. So the first thing we want to do is use our sniffer to increase our chance to hit. And then we'll utilize our killer program to hit that. Oof, we took a hit. That's bad. think we might have to heal ourselves here. I do like that they've sort of simplified cyber combat in this. Simply based on the fact that in the actual Shadowrun 5th edition rules, it's quite complicated. Oh, we got a DNA match in the arrest records database. Silas Forsberg, a deceased chop shop surgical assistant. 2 counts breaking and entering, 1 count public indecency, brought in for questioning on accusations of unlicensed plastic surgery. No charges filed. 100% match to a dead guy, we should keep looking. First thing we probably want to do is... we're going to use suppression on ourselves so that we can lower the alarm state. We probably don't want to risk getting caught with anything. He did mention that there's 2 more hits on Silas Forsberg in the in his Matrix search, so hopefully we make a decent amount of progress on this. Let's circle around that. I think I'll use Medic to keep myself alive. I'm probably going to take 2 hits on this next turn. Might be able to pull this off. There we go. Everything's gone. Return on subject Silas Forsberg. The body of Silas Forsberg, a chop shop surgical assistant, was found in an apartment in Snohomish earlier this week. The body had been there for as long as a month when Forsberg's landlord noticed a rancid smell and contacted authorities. Lone Star representatives have issued a statement saying Forsberg's death has been ruled a suicide. According to reports, his body was a mass of puncture wounds, and the cause of death was determined to be an overdose of anti-stress medications and sedatives. Man's employer claims he was a dedicated employee, though he suffered from bouts of depression. Forsberg's next of kin could not be located, but the attorney appointed to his estate has located a will written weeks prior, leaving all of his belongings to his psychiatrist. The identity of the psychiatrist has not been released due to privacy concerns. Yet another sad end to a life, as is far too common here in the sprawl. That's suspicious. So now we want to pull out and go to Meat Space, also known as, where we hang out, but I am going to venture over here. There might be pay data, and I do love pay data. Autopsy records, I'll take that. Especially since we know that the autopsy records can be easily screwed with, as we learned from Dresden. Autopsy records. Silas Forsberg. Subject was found overdosed on half a dozen different sedatives. Several anti-anxiety medications were also found in his system. Face was mutilated, possibly self-inflicted. Identity could not be confirmed immediately due to the disfigurement. Had to check dental records to confirm. No next of kin. Large puncture wounds were found in several places on the body, possibly large bore surgical needles. Body had been decomposing for several weeks before the landlord noticed the smell and called the police when no one answered the door. So, got a little more information. And the more information we have, the better we're doing. Really, we need to make it back to where we came in so that we can jack out. So here's what we know. Our DNA evidence belongs to a dead man whose death was never explained. He works with chop shops, which fits with the living guy that you've met. Newsnet says he left his estate to his psychiatrist. Maybe finding out who his psychiatrist was will give us our next clue. My gut says we can deck into the medical board's records and reverse trace to find this doctor. You in? Punch it, man. We're gonna do it again. Alright, this is our entry and exit. Let's go. That looks dangerous. A Sparky. That probably inflicts stun damage, actually. And I missed with the killer. Oh, that's bad. Alright. And I'm already taking hits. It gets worse. Okay. Wait, how did I end my turn? I did not want to do that. Oh, jeez. So if I don't get this kill... Alright. I was a little concerned I was going to die on this next turn. Pop that. Pop that. I'm actually going to activate Medic, just so I can stay in the fight for a little bit longer. Perfect. Hacked patient records. Searching medical records for Silas Forsberg. Let's look at his 2020 to 2030 records. One particular pediatrician's entry stands out from the rest. It's a partial pediatric record. Child suffers from chronic depression and social anxiety, most likely caused by his physical abnormalities. We've seen many cases like this recently with the outbreak of changeling children being born. With the aberrant physiology we're seeing, there's no telling what sort of brain functions are affected. Prescribed a series of sedatives last year that seemed to have no effect, upping the dosage. 2030 to 2040. Data missing or corrupted. Contact your administrator for help. 2040. File is quite large. It takes well over an hour to read through. The final entry, however, is the most significant, written by Dr. Henry Holmes. Fun fact, H.H. Holmes is the guy who built the hotel... Why do I want to say it's the Hotel Cortez? That was American Horror Story. It's the murder hotel. The whole thing was a death trap, and he would murder guests in it. It was like pretty much Saw in, like, you know, the 1910s, 1920s. Silas has overcome significant mental disorders and no longer goes through periods of violent episodes. Latest medications have proven especially effective, but I believe that being treated by another elf has significantly impacted his treatment. Unfortunately, my efforts to maintain an emotional boundary with him have proven challenging. He has bonded to me in an unhealthy and, frankly, an unnerving way. His hero worship exhibits itself in the form of mimicked speech patterns and adopting my dress. For this reason and for the health of the patient, I am assigning another doctor to his case. I will inform him at his next session. How convenient that that's the last entry. What is that? Ooh, black eyes. This is what's there to kill us. Alright, so we eliminated that. We're gonna medic up so that we're at full health going into this fight against the Black Ice. We're gonna have to use our killer program. It's basically all we've got. Alright, we removed the Black Ice. Let's go. Employment records. Henry Hollings Holmes, MD, PhD. H.H. Holmes, literally. Let's check his previous employers. Psychiatrist in residence at Mercy Mental Hospital in Snohomish, attending psychiatrist, Mercy Medical Hospital in Snohomish, and before that, private practice. Current employment status: Chief Psychiatrist and Administrator at Mercy Mental Hospital, Snohomish, Washington, UCAS. Now I'm just saying, the guy who was obsessed with him, Silas Forsberg, maybe this is just me putting my detective hat on, as we're going to exit this place and go to Meat Space, but, it stands to reason that if his body was unidentifiable except by dental and DNA, he was expressing an unnerving level of hero worship toward this other psychiatrist. And the last note that we have on him is, oh, by the way, I'm going to refer him to another psych. Like, maybe I've watched too many movies, but it strikes me that he could have killed a homeless person, or, you know, just a random elf, disfigured the body to the point that dental and DNA identification was necessary. The sedatives probably helped with that, because it's easier to kill somebody when they're not screaming and fighting back. Same with the anti-anxiety meds to get them, like, chilled out to the point that the sedatives would take effect, and blah blah blah. But then, on top of that, if a person's dead, and, you know, their body is so badly degraded and or mutilated that, you know, you need dental and DNA to identify, he could have faked his death and then killed Dr. Holmes and stolen his identity. Strikes me that a psychopath would do that, and a psychopath is what we're dealing with the Emerald City Ripper. Reality is, at the end of the day, contextual, and as the meat world comes back into focus, your head once again tries to settle on which world is the real one. While the philosophical question lingers, your meat body demands food and drink. Disconnect from your deck to find that the Union's safe house has risen. Well, first up, let's talk to David Fry. He looks almost as tired as you do. You can tell that this case has gotten under his skin like it has yours. Any luck in there? We found an exact match for the DNA, but it was linked to a dead chop shop assistant by the name of Silas Forsberg. Now, I have my theories, but what do you think is going on here? Silas faked his death. It's a distinct possibility. What was it that we saw in the autopsy report? Face was so mangled they had to use dental records to identify him. Good catch. That matches up with something I've seen runners try. It's easy enough to find a body shop that'll make a replica set of teeth for you. Find some schlub off the street no one will miss, swap the teeth, and throw the heat off your trail for a while. Lucky I've never been that desperate. But why would he need to go to those lengths? Did the police records have something linking him to a different crime? He had a prior for unlicensed plastic surgery. True, wouldn't look too good on someone's record if they wanted to become a doctor. I think this is beginning to come together. The late Silas left all his belongings to a doctor. Dr. Holmes. Employment records have him as the administrator at Mercy Mental, and the picture on his file matches the person you saw downtown. The same person this DNA belongs to. All the evidence points to him being your killer, whoever he really is. You should go find this Dr. Holmes and ask him some very pointed questions. Please pay him my respect. I always find that high-caliber rounds get the message across. You should clearly hire some friends and go loaded for bear. I sideloaded a ton of valuable data from those Lone Star Matrix nodes. Here's your cut. You're not coming? I think my part here is done. You might want to go sticking your hand into a hornet's nest, but I'm a little more wary of the jobs I take these days. I respect that. Despite the hour, Buster is fastidiously put together in another wrinkle-free suit. He shows every indication that he's been up for hours, sunk to his elbows in a dozen crates, each containing objects of sinister matte black, hidden within curls of straw-colored packing foam. The foam flies about as he inventories his shipment, clinging to every surface except for Buster's immaculate suit. Just in time, I got a whole slew of new toys in from a supplier back east. Factory fresh and still smelling of their mother's gun oil. Maybe there's something in this batch you'd be interested in. Now let's see what he has. Browning Max Power Heavy Pistol, Ares Predator Heavy Pistol, Cavalier Deputy Revolver. See what kind of shotguns we've got. Ooh, the Mossberg CMDT. And some upgraded grenades, too. Those might be useful. Let's go ahead and take the Mossberg. We definitely want that. And we're actually going to take the Cavalier Deputy as well. As for consumables, I think we'll take a couple of frag grenades and a couple of concussions. Always helpful. We are going to equip Cavalier Deputy. We've got some med kits and everything else. Let's confirm it. Next up, we probably want to upgrade our armor, which means talking to Eric Mersman. Need some new armor? Yeah, I do. UCAS mil-spec that's customized for the Shadows. Well, I do like that. Yeah, they got a lot of new items here. The tourist look. Love that. No, we're gonna stick to... We want to improve our quickness, so we should take the Ganger Mask. Get that equipped. I don't really like the like bunny face, but we kind of have to go with it. Even so, let's do it. We've upgraded our armor, making us a decent bit tougher. So let's go talk to Dr. Castle, because she is going to sell us some lovely, lovely medical items. I'm not one to talk, but you look like Drek. I'm afraid there isn't much I can do for that. Doc Castle snaps her fingers and calls forth the spirit normally seen perched on her shoulder. It appears from out of the ether, and the doctor immediately seems less fatigued than she was a moment before. Now what can I do for you? Everything alright? Here at the Union? Yeah, fine. I'm just getting back myself. Days here tend to be slow, so I volunteered at a medical center on the other side of Touristville. And I had a rough shift. Want to talk about it? Hadn't you heard? Doctors don't like to talk about their problems. It makes us appear less godlike. But I'll humor you. I didn't hear all the details. All I really know is what came in on the lips of the victims healthy enough to still speak. Apparently one of the Baron's gangs incurred the wrath of the local soul paw rings, leading to a rolling shootout through the city streets. Several bystanders were injured. But the real mess didn't begin until the party crashed into the yard of an old industrial plant out on Union Hill Road. They woke some kind of toxic spirit, which then began running amok, causing easily as much damage as the initial battle. And we were left to pick up the pieces, of course. But enough about my troubles. Let's hear about yours. Tell me what ails you. Let's look at some cyberware. I mean, we've already got, the body. That's already done. We have bone lacing. I think we'll take a data jack so that we can get a smart linked gun later on. And for the time being, we're going to take vision magnification options. I'm fine with installing cyberware. Video game. Thank you. We're playing a street samurai. Take a couple of advanced medkits. Gonna remove this Fischetti concussion grenade, remove the basic medkit, with an advanced medkit, and a Cavalier concussion grenade. There we go. Problems solved. So that leaves us with just a couple more. Whoever this weirdo... Oh, it's Mr. Delilah. That's our person we gotta talk to about hiring a crew. Change the damn channel. After my soaps are over. I love it. You're looking for runners again? I'm your guy. Discreet service only. Your crew. Alright, we've got 3,800 new yen, which is going to put us in a weird spot. Especially since we can't hire, Oh, we have Shannon Halfsky. You can hire her. Since we are going after the Emerald City Ripper, I am going to take her. Additionally, I don't understand why I can't take Coyote, but hey, whatever. Maybe she's part of the Nephilim network? No, apparently not. We probably want... No, we're taking Maerska again, for sure. She's rad. And I think this time we need a different decker. Heavy pistol, axe, craftwork 1 deck, Ingram smart gun, craftwork 1 deck. Let's see. What do they have for... What do they have for a decker here? A smart linked Ingram smart gun. Craftwork. Doesn't say what programs he has equipped, though. This guy's a Decker and Rigger hybrid. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just go with a normal Decker over here. Yeah, we'll take Carno again. She's a reliable talent. Are we gonna head to Mercy Mental Hospital to confront Dr. Holmes? Yes, we are. And with that, we're gonna call this episode. It has been a pleasure playing Shadowrun Returns for you all tonight. Or in the morning, or whenever you happen to be watching this. I happen to be recording it in the evening, but you know, that's neither here nor there. Once again, if you did like what you see, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell your pets. And once again, Mr. Rogers would love you just the way you are, and so do I. Be good to each other out there.